Morning everybody, how are y'all doing today? I'm doing great because the reception to my last video was overwhelmingly positive. Thank you all so much for the ridiculous support on that one. And now that I've done my obligatory Amazing Lucas video, it's time to move on to DreamcastGuy. Now you guys might remember DreamcastGuy actually rage quit his live stream and ended it before the Starfield Direct even actually ended so he could go make a video. And he deleted the live stream right after he ended it. Now unfortunately I do not have any clips from it, so whenever I reference something that he said during the live stream, you're just gonna have to take my word that he said it. But yeah, he was basically downplaying Starfield a ton, and then he ended up rage quitting because people in the chat were roasting him, and then he went on and uploaded this video. Now I mainly want to focus on the Starfield section of his video because that's where things get really bad, and to his credit, I will say right now, he actually did praise certain things like Avowed, which I agree with. Avowed actually looks awesome. I'm really excited for that game. So he wasn't all negative, but at the same time, when it comes to Starfield, you know, I understand his opinion, but, you know, let me just play the clip.
And I know it's your opinion, but your opinion's wrong.
Like, look, I understand if Starfield does not look like your type of game. Hell, RPGs have never been really my type besides, like, Elden Ring. But honestly, I was very impressed with what I saw at the Direct, and I'm definitely gonna try the game out. And clearly, a ton of other people are also impressed because not only is the Collector's Edition already sold out, but Starfield is already the top-selling game on Steam. But even if Starfield actually doesn't appeal to him, he can't deny the game looks really cool. Like Final Fantasy, I've never been into the series, it doesn't appeal to me, but I still acknowledge that Final Fantasy 16 looks really cool. And don't worry, I'll talk about some of DreamcastGuy's stuff that he said on stream later in the video, because my god, this man was big mad. But before we go over the section of the video talking about Starfield, I just wanted to play this clip really quick. I just detected a bit of hypocrisy here.
My big issue is that the whole first half of this showcase was just cinematic trailers, and they said they weren't going to do that. Like, hey, it's a cinematic trailer for Fable. Wow, look, there's Fable as a cutscene. Great. Okay, what's up next? Okay, it's this game called South of Midnight. What's South of Midnight? It's another cinematic trailer. Yeah. Legitimately, we have no idea what these games are actually about. I mean, we're assuming Fable's going to play like the classic Fables, but we didn't get any gameplay, so we really don't actually know. Whatever this thing is, it's some sort of like stop action animation. That's cool. We have no idea what South of Midnight is going to be at all. Oh, great. Here's another freaking trailer. It's a Star Wars game, and it's another cinematic trailer. Okay, so I'm just saying, I thought we agreed that we wanted gameplay, right?
Now, you can obviously tell he wasn't too happy with the insane amount of cinematic trailers that were shown, which I did actually predict that Xbox would do this, where they said, oh yeah, no CG trailers at all, and I'm like, well, they could just do in-engine trailers instead, but not actually show gameplay, and that's exactly what happened, basically. But you might be wondering, what's so hypocritical about this? Well, when we fast forward a bit later into this video, DreamcastGuy has this to say about Clockwork Revolution. Just take a quick listen.
This, though, is the other game I'm extremely happy with. This game was called Clockwork Revolution. It looks like BioShock. It's got some sort of weird mechanic where we're going to time travel and fight people. It's super BioShocky, and obviously I got BioShock tattoos, so this seems like a really good vibe. I think my two favorite games of the show, by a huge margin, was Avowed and Clockwork Revolution.
I just found it very hypocritical that at the beginning of the video he's complaining that, oh look, it's all cinematic trailers, we don't know anything about the games, that's so boring. But then his favorite game besides Avowed, which again I do agree with that, is a game that we haven't seen any gameplay of and we've only seen cinematic trailers for. But I guess it's okay for that game and not Fable. But anyway, with that little side quest out of the way, let's go ahead and get into our main quest. That being, of course, make fun of DreamcastGuy for having the wrong opinion about Starfield.
Now, after the Xbox showcase, they decided to do an hour-long deep dive onto everything about Starfield, including the fact that you can walk around on planets and craft items and make your character and do side quests. I'm going to sound like a real wet blanket, but I don't know why something about Starfield does not grab me.
You don't know why Starfield doesn't grab you? Well, allow me to explain. It's because it's not exclusive to PlayStation. But like you guys just heard right there, the way he describes it, he just does not like this game already. He's like, oh yeah, you can walk around a planet and craft stuff. Like he's trying to make it sound as boring as possible. He doesn't mention the fact that you can fully customize your ship and your bases. There's 5 different skill trees with each individual skill having 4 upgrades. There's tons of interactions to be made with the world and with NPCs. Like you can hail down ships in space, offer to trade, ask to come aboard. You can fight them, you can blow them up, you can disable the engines and then board them and kill everybody inside. You can mind control aliens. But of course he won't mention any of that. Like I said earlier, even if you personally are not interested in Starfield, you have to admit it looks really cool. It really looks like Bethesda's going all in on this one.
In a lot of this gameplay they showed today, honestly, a lot of the NPCs had incredibly dead eyes. The dialogue seemed really kind of cringe. The combat seemed incredibly boring. They kept showing combat segments where people practically didn't even fight back. And, you know, to each their own, but to me, it just didn't look great.
Bro, if carrying like 10 different weapons at the same time, constantly flying around with your jetpack, basically having unlimited freedom for how you approach situations looks boring to you, then I really don't know what to tell you. And on top of that, I think he actually quit the stream before they showed the shot where the guy was using like force powers and he just like killed everybody in front of him instantly. But as for the enemies not fighting back, I mean, they were very likely playing on easy mode. And actually, in the very first combat section that they showed, the enemies actually engaged the player. It's not like they stood around and waited to get shot. They shot at him first. As for the dead eyes, I very much disagree. Sure, some of the characters definitely have some wacky colored eyes, but they're definitely not dead. And also, you do realize that the NPC you were showing on screen, that's a callback to Oblivion, right? That guy is supposed to be ugly. But then how is the dialogue cringe? Most of it was just people briefing you on what you were supposed to do and people asking like, are you okay? Or hey, can I join you? I gotta get off this rock. There was maybe one moment that you could call cringe, but even then I wouldn't even call it that. And it's that part where you meet the dude who says the pirates are resistant to even his most irresistible charm. But even then, it's just a little joke. I fail to see how any of this is cringe. Again, he's like looking for a reason to be mad. Because during his stream, even at the beginning of the trailer when they're showing, oh yeah, we have 1,000 worlds you can check out, he's like, yeah, 1,000 empty worlds. And this guy unironically thinks he's not a pony. My guy, people have been telling you for years, but just change your name to PlayStation Guy.
Starfield looks a lot like Fallout 4 in space. And I like Fallout 4, but I kind of thought that Starfield would be more than that. I kind of thought that Starfield was supposed to be that next-gen step. But, I mean, it seems like the rest of the internet is loving it. I'm looking at it, and there's a bunch of people saying, like, yeah, me seeing all the things you can do in Starfield. I see a bunch of people saying, like, this is... Xbox needed one of their best showcases, and I think they delivered as close as perfect as you can get. There's a Starfield controller. I mean, this seems like everybody else is loving Starfield. I think I'm the odd man out here.
You don't say. You don't say. You don't say.
Really, huh? You think you're the odd man out here? As you sit here hating on Starfield, meanwhile everybody else is saying it looks great and is giving the showcase 9s and 10s. Why, yes, what a very astute observation you've made there. But yes, dude, Starfield is much more than Fallout 4 in space, and you know it. From the character creator to the skill trees to all the planets you can explore to all the different aliens you can find, building your own spaceship and colony. Anything that's in this game that was also in Fallout 4 has been heightened from Fallout 4. But you know what? I will give him credit for at least acknowledging that he is the odd man out. DreamcastGuy needs every W he can get, especially after this video.
I do not understand the love for Starfield. To me, it looked like a 6 or 7 out of 10 game. It looked like a fine, generic space exploration game. But that's fine. I mean, we'll see. I am going into it with an open mind. I'm going to play it. I'm going to review it. I'm going to go in with the best goggles ready to see if it is the space sim. And it's going to be fun as hell. I'm going to go into it and just try and be the most dirty pirate in the universe. But as it stands, I'm pretty lukewarm on it.
But you're not going into it with an open mind. The entire time you were watching the Starfield Direct, you were trash talking it, and you just said you felt lukewarm about it and it looked generic and like a 7 or a 6 out of 10. That is not an open mind. You can't smack talk this game as much as you have and then say, oh yeah, I'm gonna keep an open mind though. This is exactly like when the amazing Lucas said that he wanted Starfield to fail and he couldn't wait for it to be a massive L, but then a few minutes later said, I want Xbox to succeed. Why don't people understand that? And you went out of your way in this video to describe the game in the most boring sounding way possible. If you're gonna be biased, at least admit it. But yeah, anyway guys, that was DreamcastGuy's thoughts on Starfield, and really quickly before we go, I just want to make a little meme out of his outro real quick. Look, I understand Griffin did this meme as well a couple of years ago, but shut up.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, you know, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.
Mission failed. We'll get 'em next time.
But yeah, anyway guys, with that all being said, thank you all so much for watching. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will catch you all next time.